Hey, Nimra. What's up? Well, hello. What's up, everybody? My name's Alckemy. Welcome to the channel. I am pretty excited for this stream because you and I are going to be taking another trip down sequencer lane inside of Bitwig. Yeah, it's super cool because we are finally at a point where this... Oh, shit. Okay. Well, damn it. All right. Hold on. We just got a cow, so that means that I need to donate some subs. Let's go ahead and do that before anything. Give me 1 second. We need to go back to this. Let me pull up the stream, and I will donate some more subs. If anybody donates a sub, or they donate in general or something, and we get the cow, that means that we have to... No worries. Thank you so much. That means that we have to do a donation. So give me 1 second, and let me copy this. I hate that I can't gift subs from the YouTube studio. I have to go into chat here.
Don't let things get in the way.
Don't let these get in your way. And then do it here. Yeah, thank you, Robot. I really appreciate it. I'm gonna go ahead and give 5 now to some other people. And there we go. Okay. Anyway. So...
Soul Steel!
What we have...
Soul Steel!
What we have going on here is some cool stuff where I've tweaked the step sequencer, if you haven't seen the video that I just put up, in a couple of ways. And with the new beta release, the motion of moving stuff off with the stepper actually seems to work. Maybe it was just because the first iteration of it, I think that it was gates as opposed to pulses or triggers or something, and maybe that's why it wasn't working. But now that we have pulses on here, or now that they've just come out with a new beta, everything is working as intended. And so now we have this, and this is actually pretty nice. I have a lot to show you all what I can do with this. I made a video that was just about creating an arpeggiator or just a melody, but this can do chords. We're going to build a drum rack here in a bit. And it's not like, this isn't necessarily useful, it's just for fun. So that's kind of what I'm into at the moment, of just making fun stuff to kind of listen to and have a good time. So yeah, let me go ahead and give you all a recap about how this works. Actually, what I'm going to do is just start a new track. No. What I meant to say was I'm going to just open up a new project, because I'm not going to do any music today. We are going to play some Elden Ring after this, because this shouldn't take all day. But yeah, let's go ahead and open up Stepwise. So we have 3 rows. Yeah, we have 3 rows here. And what each one does is, this is the global offset of everything. This one is the global velocity, and then this one is the melody range of how these can be mapped. And so this only goes up to 2 octaves, which I think is really important, because if you set it to like the whole entire thing, then you're going to get like insane pitches, and like it's the fastest way to tinnitus, so be careful. But what's cool, and also kind of annoying, but it is cool, is that if there's a step modulator on every single one of these lanes. And so let's just do that. Let's just say I wanted to focus on the bottom one here, and let's say I grab an FM4. I can hit play, and now with this, it's doing that. But if I change this to pulse, and I start to change the global melody up, then this is going to fit a melody within the range that's specified here. So if I hit random on this, is this doing anything? Doesn't sound like it. Did I go to pulse? I did. And maybe this needs to do that. Okay, I think I broke it. We're still in a beta, and so sometimes this does stuff like that, which is kind of weird. I promise it's not my fault. But this is now no longer sending any MIDI, as you can see here, and I don't know why. Thank you for the follow. I really appreciate that. Valentin Grado. That's a cool name. Yeah, why isn't that working? Okay. So this is no longer sending any MIDI messages, which is cool. But why? Um, okay. It just means that it's broken. Way to go. Okay. uh, yeah, that's just, it's a bug. I know it is. Because, there we go. Now it's working. I don't know why it does that, but okay. And now it's no longer sending MIDI. That is so strange. Maybe this just went too far or something. But now it seems to be working. Okay, so anyway, what we can do is we can solo this. Oh, maybe it's because it was stuck. And we can turn this on. And as you can see, this is going to start to move this around. And because of this, I'm going to pitch this up by 12. I'm not as crazy as it seems. We can open this up and change this into a melody. So now obviously that's stupid. But if we were to send this into a key filter, there we go. And then now what we can do is we can add all this other shit if we wanted to and change the modulation on this. We can also change the global offset of how all this stuff works. And then on this one, we can change where the offset happens. And if we didn't want this to have any offset whatsoever, we can just clear it. Which is pretty sick. So because of that, we can customize this with every single step and every single thing. So if we were to take this away and just focus on 2, which would be these 2. Hey, Velvet. And so, yeah, we basically have something like that, which is super cool. So something else that I've done is I've built just like a very basic, I'm doing okay. I've been up since way too fucking early. But that's has nothing to do with anything. So wish this version was in production with stepwise. Yeah, I mean, it would be nice if they went back and actually added a per step offset, but the first edition of this didn't work. and then they went and fixed it. And now the MIDI clock actually follows the way that it's supposed to, or the way that it's intended. And so this is actually usable for drums now. It's just that beforehand it was something would happen to where, like, if it moved off, it wouldn't trigger it. But we got it to work, which is really cool. Or I got it to work anyways. So yeah. Now the cool thing about this though is that you have this individualized thing on here to just have basically, you know, a multi-sequencer. And to some extent, if you do this, then you can make it move the opposite way in some cases, but you can't make it go completely the opposite way, which if this had an option to have playback directions on here, like this sequencer hopefully is just the beginning. I really hope that they consider adding a bunch of shit, because this could be so freaking useful. It could be such a such a Swiss Army knife. Let's just pretend like that didn't happen. This could be such a Swiss Army knife to where you can utilize this for extracting tons of material, which, you know, this is, like I said, a step in the right direction, but until that actually comes out and does whatever, then it's going to be a bit, and you're going to have to go into this and put some work into it. A switch in a manana, yeah. Anyway, that's pretty sick. And if you combine this with, you know, like a patch or something that has a little bit more modulation built into it, kind of like what I'm kind of just like recapping what I just made this video about, which was a couple hours ago. But if you go into something like this, I think this is my favorite one. Balam Garden sounds really cool, but take a listen to like how all this stuff interacts with each other. Not necessarily, but the step offset with the timing does work as intended now. Which is better than nothing. But yeah, dude, like I could listen to this all day. Ouch. Yeah, that's super cool. And then if we want to, we can just switch these up to change the melody. And then we can also hit this in order to change this as well. So. But there's some other really cool shit that we can do that, like this is just the beginning. Because some other stuff that we can do is, let's say we go back to here. Something else that I've been building is a multi-note. multi-note. Wait. Oh no, what happened? Did that not save? Oh, are you kidding me? So I guess that didn't save. And what sucks about that was I went through the trouble to build a bunch of chords, so I guess I can do that again. Um, fuck, really? I thought that I saved that. But what we can do, that's annoying, is we can group this and we can right click and go to convert to note effect selector. And now what we can do is set this to different chords. So and then now what we can do is just use the number system and build a bunch of different kinds of chords in order to make this kind of cool. So I'm trying to throw in some chords here that are both minor sevenths and then variations of that kind of run into that. But doesn't Bitwig create incremental backups? Yeah, but I already closed the thing. Good evening from Cologne, Germany. Yo, good evening. Thank you so much for coming in. And so here in a second, I'm going to use this to get a bunch of different stuff. But if you know how to build chords using a number system, then what you can do with that is make some pretty cool variations of this. So really, for me, I would just try to make like jazzy chords. You know, just different stuff like that we can utilize to switch in between. I don't think that these chords were quite as cool as the other ones that I built, but whatever. So with that though, maybe we can do kind of an offset here and maybe do something like -5. Usually I just go up because this is usually like your bass note, and so I'll make that the fundamental and then go up from there. Unless if you wanted to do something like this, then I guess that makes sense. So we can kind of do something like that. Maybe 15. And so now we can grab a randomizer here and drag this all the way up and set this to hold and then set this to note. And now whenever we play this, whatever this is going to do is going to do, yeah, whatever we tell it to based off of this, but we can play chords over this that will change the chord progression over this, which is really nice. So now when we have something like that, we can also like try to force this to go into something different. So if you want to force it back into a scale, then you can, but you're going to lose a lot of the mode changes within the chords. So and so now if you change this, then you're getting stuff like that. And this is just nice for if you want to have something to just build off of. For example, if you have something kind of like this, we can go back to this one, and then you change this from gates to, sorry, from pulse to gate, then this is going to hold itself a little bit longer. And so now, and then now the chord is a little bit more manageable because it's just going to hold itself through the whole thing. And so if you change this, see, now that's actually usable. Now I'm curious. Oh, I think I do have this. I think that I just saved it as an effect rack. Note effect selector. Okay, let's see if I... Nice jazzy chords. Okay, Jesus, dude. Okay, I was gonna say this, that would have sucked if I would have lost that. Okay, so this one has a lot of other different chords built into this, which is nice. And because of that, this is gonna sound a little bit, well, it's gonna sound a lot different. Yeah, I went through all this trouble to build these. And you want to select the bottom if you want this to randomize, just the way that it's going to select off of each other. But for some reason that's not triggering the way that I want it to. So something else that you could try is to just hit random. Yeah, that's not, why is that not doing anything? That's because that's off. Lol. Okay, there we go. And then we can continue to just change this up. And, you know, these are just ideas that you can use for song starters and stuff. Or you could just open this back up and go back into getting different ideas off of however this works. So from a melody perspective, there's a lot of stuff to get into here that offers you a lot of, it's controlled randomization or controlled chaos, I guess, because this is going to give you the same thing every time, which is nice. And because it's going to give you the same thing every time, it's kind of just like a dice button where I know that I don't remember how to set it up, but I know that you can set up a dice roll within the note grid. I think it's like dice modulator out, I want to say, and then some kind of trigger. I think it's something like this to where you can utilize this to chain react stuff. But I also think that there needs to be something else with that, like phase or something. I don't quite remember. But this is the next best answer. So that way you can have something that has like dice on everything, which is really cool. You should have seen preset if you chose to look at MIDI devices and filter with the user. It's fine. I'm not too worried about it. I'm just glad that I have it. But yeah, so from there, there's a lot of things that you can build that will give you lots of different melodic ideas, which I think is pretty cool. Now, when it comes into drum stuff, if we grab a drum rack, and this is the kind of rack stuff that I want to build. So we're just going to start with this for now. Kick, snare kick, snare, hat. I'm just going to grab the maraca, I think, because that's a shaker. Shaker one. Wait. Sorry, I think it's maraca. V8 maracas. There we go. So if we grab a stepwise on this now, we actually want to create a different one for this because we don't want to transpose this. We want this to actually kind of stay in place. But the main things that we want to focus on with this are the top two rows. So if we go into this and we go clear, first of all, we want this to be a pulse, and we go clear. Oh shit. Then what we can do is start with a drum pattern on the kick and the snare. So if we go boom, cop, boom, cop, we make sure that this is off. We want to set this to like 16ths. So 16. I'm just going to do it like this because this is easier. 16th note, 16th note. Ugh. Now, the real fun happens when we start looking at the hi-hats here, because for one, we can draw stuff in like this. Then we can do like a global lateness if we want to. So I think actually if you do this downwards, then that is late. So yeah. And then what's cool about this is that we can actually use the corresponding thing on here to start to change this, and that would be this. So ideally what we would want to do is clear this one, oops, and clear this one, because this would be our kick and snare. And then we could change it if we want to, but just having that, and in fact, let me go clear to all of these. And on this one, I think, yeah, we're also going to go clear. But because of this, if we set this at a 16th note, then what this is going to do is we can control where this offsets. And we don't want to be too crazy with it. This will move it early, this will move it late. So we can kind of create something kind of like this in order to get a different kind of shuffle, which is kind of nice. I should have just hit random, but if it's like this, it's not going to do anything. It's only when we start to push the global thing up that we're going to start to get a variation in the rhythm. So There we go. Okay. Okay. So the next thing that we can do is clip the fuck out of it and distort the fuck out of it. I mean, really? Like, just that alone will give you quite a lot. But now what I want to do with this stuff is we're going to go into another effect, another selector rack, I think, because figuring out micro timing and stepwise, we're revisiting it because when I tried to do this last time, which was in the first beta, it didn't work, and now it works. So there's that. It wasn't much to figure out, but yeah, when I first tried it, it was not applicable. Like for whatever reason, the MIDI clock on this was just not aligning, and I think it was because the first mode was only set to gates, whereas now I think that this is set to pulse or something. I don't know. It was something that was not working right, and now it's working right, which is really nice. But what I'm going to do now is we're going to group this, and then we're going to change this into an instrument selector as well. And so what I'm going to grab are all the different kicks. So V1 kick, V8 kick, zap kick, and then a sampler. And then I'm just going to move that up. And now what we can do is set this drum machine on here to this thing, which we can apply a macro to. And we'll call this kick selector. And now what we will do is hold this down like so, start here, and now whenever we move this up, we can change the kick. So at least, at the very least, this is going to become something that you can kind of cycle through pretty easily. And now that you have a selector like that, as opposed to having to figure out, what do I want to do, and actually, what I had mapped from before was just this, but all of them, all in a single rack. But this is akin to what's it called? This is more akin to being able to utilize this for like a 128 rack. And in fact, while we do that, something else that we can do is grab another macro here and just set this to this. And what I'll do whenever I'm going to do this with the other stuff, so like let's say we have the snare here, is I'm going to copy this, and then I'm going to paste this. And then I'll add the snare inside of here. And then I'll copy this. Actually, no, I'll go paste, delete, copy that, put that in there, paste, throw that in there. And so that way the selector on all this other stuff will be a lot easier to work with in case if I want to do, well, anything that I want to do. And then I can just copy pasta this to the other, or to these other slots, to where I will have a selection behind all of the different instruments and be able to kind of utilize the macros accordingly. So if we go to the kick selector, there's that. Then what we can do is grab another macro, no, macro, and we can go into that, and we can go snare selector. Content has made me better with Bitwig just a couple minutes. The program is so complex that having a workflow that knows its way around is super helpful. Well, thanks, Michael. I appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, these are just toys. I think that's the big thing to consider, is that right now, like, this has nothing to do with my actual workflow, but it might be yours. And I kind of have to make space for that. I think what I'm going to do instead is just go here and go to devices and go snare. There we go. That's what I should have done. Boom. That's what I'm talking about. And then we go into this one. Then we go hat. Hat. And we go like that. Wait. Boom. Just type in V. Oh, claps would be good. So 3 different claps. I'm going to move that right here. And on this one, we'll delete that. We'll go claps. I'm going to have to go back and readjust this, but it's okay. Or do I? Yeah, I will, but that's all right. What's next? Percussion. So if I go V and I go into, yeah, actually on the snare, I also want to add the rims. So rim shot. I suppose something else that I could do as well. Oh, those are already included. Yeah, I'm kind of thinking that I could just include that. Although what kind of sucks is if I want to move this around and like change stuff about it. Let's do that. Sorry. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the claps to this one as well. And that way I can just duplicate the whole thing. And I can have 2 claps, 2 claps slash rim. So I can layer snares, 1 kick, multiple hi-hats perhaps. So maybe 2 different hi-hats. Maybe 2 to 3 different hi-hats. Undo. Yeah. So 2 hi-hats. I'm going to layer the snares together. I'm going to swap these 2 hi-hats. And then there we go. Okay. And then 2 different percussion things together. So cowbell, tom, clav, maraca, tom. Are the crashes and the cymbals and stuff also in the hats? Maybe also the zap kick. Zap kick. Are those included? No. Symbol. Crash ride. Yeah, these are just hats. Okay. Copy. And delete. Paste. So one kick, two of those, two of these, maracas, tom, zap kick, two of these. Hmm. Yeah, I guess it wouldn't matter. It would make things easier if there was a way that I could just copy and the mapping would transition to that as well. But it's not the end of the world. What am I talking about? If I change this to a different instrument rack, it'd be nice if this stayed with it, but I don't think that there's a way to do that. And so I'm not gonna, this is already way over engineered. I might even do a third set of hats. That makes sense, because now we've got 8. Okay, so kick selector. We need to go here, go down. There we go. Now we can select between that. And go macro. And I'm going to duplicate this. Two more times. One thing that kind of rubs me the wrong way about this is it's kind of cumbersome to make this stuff match in a way that I want it to. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. So kick selector. We'll go here. Map this downward. Index. Snare selector. Go here. Boom. Hat selector. Go here. Boom. Hat selector. Third hat selector. Go to this one. I'm going to give this out to members, by the way. Perk selector. If anybody wants it. And perk selector. Cool. Interesting. Okay, so on all of these, I need to make sure that the bottom is selected. So that way this will work as intended, because otherwise people are going to change this and then it's going to not do what people want it to do, which would suck. So I just need to go in and check all of these now. Okay. This is just, so Bitwig just recently added all of these drum machines, And as opposed to like putting all of these out across the keyboard, what I've done instead is made this to where you can just use this to change in between the kicks. So let's say I've created a sequence, which we've already got, right? So there's this. What I can do now is just close this, and I can change the kick. So see? And then likewise with this. I think I'm going to move this over. And then I also think that I'm going to just move this over. There we go. Yeah, so with this, because you have effect selectors like this, you can just put this into one single thing. Now the other thing that I've included is that if you decide that you want to use a 128 rack instead, you're going to have to go in here, but you can throw in a bunch of hats if you wanted to. Hat. You go to create multi-sample, you make a bunch of these, like so. Toss them in here. Just, I guess, as many as this will allow, which is 128. And then you go right click, or you highlight all of these, you go right click, you go to distribute select equally, and you can open up this little this little star here along with this, and see this on the right, how it's doing this. What that means now is if I play this, so let's say the selection is at the top, which is now on the sampler. If I trigger the hat and I select this, you can see that this is changing in between all of these, which is really nice. Although I don't know if that's how I wanted to do this. Root key C3. Now the issue with this though is I need this to not be musical. How do I change that? How do I change that? I suppose I could just change the root key. Actually, I think, can I go into all of these and just turn that off? We'll see. Oh, here we go. There we go. Okay, so now the key tracking is off, and now hopefully this should play at the original sample. I hope. Maybe. Yeah. Bedtime, good night. Don't forget to like. Thanks for hosting. Yeah, thank you so much for coming in. Appreciate it. I'm live Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Holy shit, it's already 2 o'clock? What the fuck? What? So yeah, now I can just... you know, I can get in here and start to mess with this stuff, which I'll have to go in here and fix all that. I'll do it later. But being able to change the selection of this and then being able to change the selection of this gives you access to both which I'm not really sure if I want to do this or not, but I might want to layer this and set this to be a parallel chain. I'm not really going to overthink it at the moment. Right now it's fine, and maybe in a future iteration or whatever, but it might come to a point where you might want to have an acoustic layer with an electronic layer, specifically with the kicks and snares and stuff. But this is a way that you can at least do this stuff, which is kind of nice. Which I'll talk about whenever I make a tutorial on this and how to do this or whatever. But yeah, so because of that, we can kind of just utilize this as a selector, and be able to kind of like mess with this and create drums that will give us some pretty fast inspiration. Obviously, these drums sound very yeah, so you can use that to kind of build off of this now, and because of that, now we can start to add to it and just like throw beats together very quickly. So I don't know what this is going to sound like, but we can just do some tweaking to it to kind of just get an idea, which is kind of nice. Okay, what's going on here? Okay, it doesn't seem like that is transitioning in the way that I want it to for some reason. No, it's not. And I wonder if that's because that's why. Okay, so now on this one, what I need to do is I need to set all of these to be at 16. So, because otherwise it's not going to work. It's not going to work the way that I intend it to, because it won't be on a per step. It'll be every other step. And the clock with that could be kind of odd. So I'm just going to go and make sure that all of these are flipped to the correct thing. As you can see, that's eighth notes, 16th, 16th, 16th. Okay. So now on here, let's say I want to change this. Then I would go to the fourth step here, and I can move this just a little bit early and hit that and make it offset a bit. So let's try that again. Which is kind of cool. So something else that I can do is go here. I don't know if I want to keep this or not, but we'll see. Choked by 1 and 2. Choked by. This is turning out to be way more kinky than I thought it was going to be. Choked 1, choked 2, choked 1, choked 2. So now this is going to be a little bit more clean, I think. So yeah. So because of that, that kind of means that now we can kind of draw this and shape this in a way that will give you that per step offset and blah 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 and all that other stuff, which is kind of nice. So I'm gonna make a second version of this, which I also think that I don't know, maybe I can assign this to something different, although I can't think about what exactly. But the drum version of this needs to have the timing different than what I had on the melodic version, for sure. Maybe. Is that, can y'all still hear me okay? And so because of that, I don't know if we need the global stuff on this. I think that just I think that just this stuff should do. I suppose. Nah, that wouldn't work. Because this is a separate entity. It would have to be in a. It'd have to be in a layer, or sorry, in an effect layer if I wanted to do that, and I don't really feel like that, to be honest. Okay. Does anybody have any questions about this? Um, we'll call it new drums organized. Sure. That'll be easier. And then we'll save this preset to library and we'll call this drum version. Actually, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to clear all this. Clear, clear, clear. And then I'm going to rename this one. This one will be offset with an arrow. This one will be velocity. Yeah. I'm trying to think. I could introduce chance on these. I could also introduce timings. I don't know. What do y'all think? Would you rather prefer? Because I don't really necessarily know if I would want to do, if I'd want to change timings or if I'd want to change chance. And I don't really, how would I set the chance up? I would just mute it, I guess. Yeah, I think that's what polarity did. You just mute the step. Okay. Well, let's give, no, no. On all of these, I can delete, delete, delete. I'm feeling like Death Note. Delete, delete. If you know, you know. Delete, delete, delete. We don't need this. Mm. Sorry, I'm trying to think about how I want to do this. Ugh. It kind of stinks that there's not a chance thing on here. I suppose this would be the chance amount of how much an adjustment this would make. Maybe a 25% chance. Or no, because that's just the depth. Um, I'd probably have to go back and watch his video to be honest, but I think that this is okay for now. I don't really think that I need to do much else to it. I guess the other thing is like I could just add chance to those, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Humanize, no repeats. Yeah, there's a chance button right there. So there's that, which is kind of cool to think about because um what did I just do? I just deleted the thing. Did I save the drum rack? I did, right? Yes, I did. Otherwise, I would have sucked terribly. Yeah, so you can add the chance to that if you wanted to. You can also... It'd have to do with muting something, and then it would have to do with some kind of remap, but like I said, I don't really feel like trying to figure that out right now. My brain's kind of fried. Okay. I need to, I don't know what happened there, but I guess I selected the other ones and move that off. Oh, you know what I'm thinking? Shit. No! Okay, it's not that big of a deal. Oh, fuck. Okay. That should be helpful, for one. But now what I need to do, unfortunately, is I need to start from the top and go up and make this go down. Because that's how that's going to load every time, unfortunately. Which is not that big of a deal, but it's kind of annoying. And then I can just change the order or whatever, which I'll do that after this. But +9. There's just some specific things that you have to be aware of. Yoink. This is why I charge money for stuff. Because it's really annoying to do this. Yeah, I want the sampler to be last. The sampler should be lost on all of these. I don't know. I hope that somebody finds this useful. So now that we have that, we can kind of, again, just cycle through this and break it in a way that's intended, which is cool. So I guess we would just count backwards to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we would start with this. And if we want this to change, you know, then we can just hit random and see whatever that does. And that's part of the reason why, like, I still think that it's not the most elegant solution to doing it this way, because as you can tell, like, it's all fucked up. But it is possible, which you know, if some people are really hell-bent on working this way, then yeah, you can't blame them. Is it as good as in working in audio? No. But the thing is that for me, that's actually not even why I'm doing this. Because you see, now that I have something like this, I can go into this and throw on something like this. And this is a starting point for whatever, you know. And I can go in here and just randomize all this shit. And just have one more thing to give me variety for all this other stuff. And now that I have this, I can just use this and get a bunch of different things that should be really cool. So you take stuff like that and start to break it apart. And then now you've got a bunch of different percussion and stuff that you can utilize to do cool things with. So we can do something like that and then go repitch and then we can kind of start to build off of that into other stuff. So we can go like that, and then we can start to create cool little fades and stuff. And just start trying to build a drum groove. We can just do this twice and then a little bit early. So yeah, and then we can Right as the doot doot was in key for the start of the Jingle Bells, thought I was working on a sick remix. No, Corey actually suggested that I did like a Jingle Bell or like a Christmas thing, but I don't have it in me to do that. It's too happy. Way too happy. Glad I caught that before it got scary. Hey, Mr. Coyote Color. Did I make those in this earlier in this stream? Not the kick, but everything else kind of. I just modified a clap, and then the percussion I recorded from that drum thing that I just built. I guess this, I'd have to just record this bass line out for the first 2 bars. But that's a cool little idea. Okay. Anybody have any questions about anything? Okay, there we go. Yeah, so something else that would be fun to try is to place this here, back on this, and pull up one of these other patches that I've been working on. Yeah, sure. And then messing with some of the stuff on here, just maybe with the macros. So maybe turn the pressure in this off because there's no MIDI. But being able to fuck with this could be fun. That's pretty cool. Yeah, so that's some cool stuff to kind of just fuck with. Um, the step sequencer is responding to the note offset or the stepper properly now. So you can use the micro timing with the step stuff. That actually works. It's still like not ideal and still very wonky to work with, but it does work. And that's kind of what I was fixing today. Yeah, so I did one with drums, I did one with melodies and stuff. But basically I ended up creating this nightmare, which is still really cool. But I think that the stepper is going to be a lot more useful for melodies than for trying to make drum stuff. But it is, yeah, it is viable. It is possible to do it this way if that's what you prefer. Uh, I think on that front, though, I don't really have anything else that I want to do. Does anybody have any questions or anything else of the sort? Maybe something we could do is just kind of. I've been having a lot of fun just making stuff that is with the stepper, but did I save the drum version? I hope I did. Yeah, I did. Okay. But yeah, making stuff with the key filter and sure. And then just throwing on like a pad or whatever and having fun doing stuff like that because that's really nice. Really cool and like super chill for all types of stuff in regards to generative and ambient music. Do they update the beta again? The latest one with the new output system does not work well for me. We're on beta 3, so whichever, I'm not sure if that's the one you're talking about or not, but completely new folder? It's not nice to your setup? I haven't had any problems. Completely new folder? What are you talking about? I think I only have one folder. Yeah, I only have one folder. Maybe that's a bug. I don't think that's supposed to happen. Maybe it's messed up on PC. Because I think Polarity was having that issue as well, and I think that he's also on PC. Polar 5 Beta 2 with a complete duplicate of everything. Oh god. Yeah, that would be really annoying. See, this is what Bitwig was designed for. Basically to make a bunch of bleeps and bloops to pass the fuck out to. I was making a joke, but yeah. I gotta say, it's really nice having just a bunch of presets that I've made over time and being able to just run it through this shit. I can't sit comfortably. That must be nice. Not being able to sit comfortably? No, I'm just kidding. I mean, when it comes to faceplant, like Eternum 1 through 6, like I started Eternum in like 2020. So that definitely has something to do with it. Excuse me. See, this is nice. Fuck yeah. Oh man, I feel you. I hate that shit. Wicked, could we hear Moonbow to this? I'm not making any music today. I'm just messing with the devices that I've been building. I'm sorry. I'm too burnt out. Like, I just want to have fun and, like, not try to make something at the moment. This is nice, man. I've just been... This is just nice to listen to. If I want to come back to that, I will, but now we can kind of change it up again. But that's nice. Yeah, the first half of that is nice. The second half is kind of whatever. point, right? Is you just got to get in there and fuck with it. So I'm modulating the tempo now and seeing what that does. I could pass out to this so easily. This is so nice. You're gonna need a couple of things like loop back and then rolling sampler would probably be your best bet. You can get away with just loopback to where you can set a different, you can split a routing channel to where you can route your audio back into the DAW. But rolling sampler is what I'm using up here. It's where I'm recording stuff into this. No, if any, you need loopback before anything else. But if you're just trying to resample into your DAW like super efficient, then I use rolling sampler. But loopback is what you need to record off of YouTube. There's also other free versions like Black Hole, but loopback has been the most. Loopback has been the most reliable and stable. Yeah, loopback costs money though. Black Hole does not. It works as like a background app. But it allows you to have another input device, as if there was an interface built in your computer. And then you can choose to have the sound route into that. Before you download or buy anything, like look into it and look at what it actually does. But yeah. This is nice. Hello. It's just reverb, dude. I mean, I don't know. I'm just cycling through presets right now. But even if you just use FM4, like it's just this. It's just big ass reverb. But yeah, like I said, I have tutorials on it. You just have to watch them. Oh, that's still holding on to the patch. That's interesting. From before. Hard drive for all my patches and rolling sampler samples. I do have an external, but no, it just goes to a folder. Yeah, I'm like in total nap mode. No, I was going to, but I got caught up in just having fun with this. I'll find something to do with this at some point, but as of now, I'm kind of just enjoying it for what it is. It's very musical. It's not really something that I do a lot of, even though I know how. But yeah, like I said, it's just very pleasant to just sit back on this and When's the best time to make stuff is when you're tired, or either when you're really tired or when you just wake up. Yeah, something like that. Huh. That's crazy. Yeah, I'm on beta. It has the grid. It's kind of interesting because this is supposed to be in a Phrygian scale, but like all the stuff that comes out of this scale is all happy. It's like it never catches a semitone. Yeah, it never catches a semitone to like make it feel like it's like mysterious or anything. It's all just like, I don't know, not like it's cool because I've never made anything like this, but at the same time it's like, I don't know, the key filter inside of this just feels strange. You know, it should be something like that. So like a, you know, it should feel something kind of like that, or, you know, no. It's in Phrygian A sharp. That's sick. Yeah, that should be something cool like that, but it's not. Instead, this is this happy-go-lucky Phrygian shit. Lucky Charms, Mickey Mouse, whatever. That's interesting. I mean, I guess if I was making a video game or something, this would be cool. Although I'm curious if I were to use something like Scalar. I think that I can lock into a scale on this, can't I? I think we were in A sharp, Phrygian. Is there a way to do that or no? I suppose I could try Harmony Bloom as well. Because I can set this to A sharp, Phrygian, wherever you are. There we go. And set this to input. It's in keyboard mode. And then just set this to chromatic. Interesting. See, that's a lot closer. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. That's what I'm talking about. helps me stay motivated to my responsibilities. Is that what you're asking? Keep up with tasks and responsibilities. Have some tasks for artist project and I feel lazy to procrastinate all the time. Are you talking about artistically or are you talking about like in life, like having a job and, you know, showing up for work on time and shit? Because they're, to me, those are kind of two different things. I mean, practicing with deadlines and, figuring out problem solving skills that puts you under pressure is something that you can develop for sure. I think that's a really important thing to bring up. That's why doing the challenges and doing, you know, giving yourself a time limit of working within, a 2 hour thing or being like, yo, I got to have something by the end of the week and working on that is extremely helpful because that's very indicative of like things that happen in real life, you know? Um, the thing that is better or worse for me musically is that like this is my job. I'm working right now. I'm having a great time, but I'm technically working. And sometimes, especially lately, I'm like, fuck, I don't want to do this. I want to break. I want to chill, but I always find some kind of enjoyment out of doing something out of that. And that's kind of the next lesson is like, even if you have a shit session, you always get better at something. So giving yourself that permission to be like, it might not be the outcome that I want, but there's something to be taken away from this session, and then focusing on that kind of helps you feel motivated. Um, I will say that when it comes to me and the things that I'm passionate about, I feel compelled to do these things. Like I told myself I was gonna play games until the new year, and here I am in Bitwig doing some shit. Because I feel compelled to be in the DAW. I feel compelled to like work out. I feel compelled to do tricks and to whatever. Um, it just calls to me, and I try not to fight it. If it says, "Hey, go do this," then I get up and I'm like, "All right, let's go." And you kind of have to build that consistency within. You know, anxiety is fine. And that's like I don't know. I have a specific relationship with anxiety and I know that not everyone is like me, but just because you have anxiety over something doesn't necessarily make it a bad thing and there's a gradient about like being a victim of it versus using it to your advantage. You know what I mean? I think a great example of that is if you're on a roller coaster, you've got hella anxiety, but you choose to get on it because you know that the thrill of getting up right before you drop into it, which by the way, I don't get on roller coasters, but I know that other people do, but I know what that feels like and, whatever, but the anxiety of that, or the anxiety of certain things are a great motivator to get you to either do something or to not do something. Um, you know, I've had panic attacks. I've had things of anxiety where like I dread specific things, but I've also had anxiety of like pre-show. The first time that I did Iron Fist for Marvel Live, there were thousands of people in the stands, and I was just like pacing back and forth. My heart was beating out of my chest, and it was something that I was just like, oh shit. Or even now that I'm not doing shows anymore, but if I'm trying to like, throw a trick that I haven't done in a long time, I have to sit there and build up to it. But if the desire is stronger than the anxiety, then the commitment or the send it, mentality will overcome it. Um, and it's a constant battle. I think that it's important to take away that not all anxiety is bad. If it is bad anxiety, then you need to pinpoint the source of the issue and treatment for that. which Corey's not here, but if she was, she'd most likely tell you the same thing, is to face it, you know? And to face it and to not dwell on the anxiety itself, but to focus on what the problem is, you know? If the problem is like, hey, I have anxiety for getting into the DAW because I feel like I'm going to waste my time and it's going to be stupid or whatever, like, then that means that you're not even having fun. And if you want to make music and you want to have fun, then maybe there's a trifecta of something and be like, take out the I need to make something good part, you know? If the thing is I need to make something good and I need to make music, but it's not going to be fun, then sometimes you need to sit down and just like have this love-hate relationship with it and be like, sorry guys, okay motherfucker, like it's time to bang out some shit. And to be honest with you, the last track that I wrote, the Pretty Wild thing, it took me like 6 versions to get to something that I was happy with. And it wasn't until I got over this like insane hump that I absolutely dreaded, that I had anxiety for, that, you know, I really didn't want to do, to where I got into a position to where I was like, ah, okay, this is taking direction. And I finally have something that I can go off of and begin to getting back into enjoying it, you know? But I joke all the time, like my relationship with music creation, it fucking sucks. It's hella volatile. It's hella like, uh, I don't even know how to describe it, to be honest. But at least 80% of the time that I'm making music, I fucking hate myself until I actually make something that I'm like, okay, that's it. And then I get to enjoy the experience of the flow and the, you know, and the whatever. But you have to realize that that is an artistic struggle that everyone has. The percentages may vary, but everyone has an artistic struggle or something to where they are faced with their limitations and they have a desire to go beyond those limitations, and their brain or their desire works faster than their ability to output. Every single person that I've talked to has talked about this to some capacity. Every single person. The If you have a favorite artist, or if you have artists that you look up to that I know, that I've talked to, they have told me this, because that's just what it is. You have to change the relationship with music when that shit happens, you know? You can't just be like, I'm gonna sit down and write a banger, because that just doesn't fucking happen. It doesn't. At least not for me. And that's something that I hate, because I want to sit down and just be like, you know what? I want to make something that I can listen to at the gym tomorrow. That would be ideal. But it doesn't, like I said, it doesn't happen that way. Or it rarely happens that way. Sometimes it does. Most of the time it doesn't. Fuck. But if you, like I said, if you change it and you're like, you know what? I'm gonna write a beat, and then it's not even about the quality of the beat. You're just like, I need to write a beat. Get it down. Write the beat. It doesn't matter if it's good or not. I have this note on my board. It says, if it's not working out, make it suck, but use the material that you made. Should I repeat that again? If it's not working out, make it suck, but use the material that you made. Oh, and there was another thing that I wrote down today too that says, it's not, when you have creative block, it's not that you can't come up with ideas, it's that you don't like the ideas that you come up with. That is what it is. And there is a scale of that, from the initial idea of I don't like my snare to I don't like this project as a whole. But imagine how much music you would write if you just acted on the first thing that, you know what I mean, you had access to. The first thing. Someone gives you a stem, whatever, you just make something out of that. And you have to go with it. You can't go back, you know? You must commit to whatever it is that you produce. You know? It's like having a kid. You can't just like hand them back and be like, start over, do over. You know what I mean? You have this thing that you have to continue to shape, that you cannot, excuse me, but you cannot get rid of, you cannot destroy, you cannot harm, you cannot abandon. You have to nurture the thing until it's ready to be off on its own, and even then there's still, stuff with that of taking care of, whatever. But does that make sense? It's stuff like that that you have to like be mindful of, and that you change how you think of things whenever you start committing to early decisions. I mean, if it's a huge undertaking and you don't know where to start, then that's a totally different thing. That's get organized, get your shit together. Not saying you, but just in general, right? Okay, I need to, like, I just did this. I just did a remix, right? What did I do? I was like, I need to what did I do? I broke this down into sections. I didn't write it down, but I can kind of like trace back. So what I did was I audiated a potential like reimagining of the thing. So her track was a new metal track that had completely different drums, like whatever, same melody but totally different vibe. So I was like, what would happen if I went like so I started conceptualizing that. So then I started making material out of resampling her stems. And then I wrote the drums, then I wrote the bass, then I started getting my stuff together of like, okay, well, how am I going to lead this into the main section? And once I had that, once I figured out how to go from the main beat back to the main theme of the track, I knew what else to do to finish it. The thing is like, there is a point, and I've talked about this on my videos, and it's different for everybody, of at what point through this struggle do you have to get to be like, okay, I know how to get there. I know how to like, it's like driving halfway through GPS. Like the first, getting on the highway or whatever, you have no fucking idea where to go, but then you're on the highway and you're like, okay, I know how to get home from here. That's the same thing with music creation. You know what I'm saying? That's a great analogy, actually. Not sorry, not trying to toot my own horn, but that is, yeah, that's a fantastic analogy. When it comes to finishing music, everyone has a point like that, and it varies. And sometimes, there's different parts to it. Maybe you know how to get halfway there, but then you're like, do I go left or right? I'm gonna go left for a bit. Oh shit, I went too far. Now I gotta turn around. But like, that's how this stuff works. So change your relationship with your creative output. And we've talked about this before too. Like, I'm going to try to say this in the nicest way possible, but you need to let your fucking ego go. Like all this shit that you're carrying with whatever, like you need to toss it. You need to let it go. And you need to just like, what did she say? You need to submit to your creativity. Um there are times that you hear me bitch about my own creative process, and you need to figure out what it is that you're trying to do, right? There's a time to grind and there's a time to make music. And for me, what a lot of people don't get is that whenever I start complaining about stuff, it's because I'm trying to push towards a direction that I don't know how to go, towards. It's not even about the music itself. It's about I'm trying to go in this direction. There's a very clear difference behind cultivation of I'm trying to learn how to do something versus you need to let it go and just make the music. There's a time to be a scientist. There's a time to be an artist, If it comes into making music and you're like, I'm not making any music, then you need to let all of that like progress and all of that, what the fuck ever, that you need to cut that off immediately and just go into, I'm going to use the tools that I have. I'm going to make music even if it's going to be shitty and whatever. It's not the ideas, it's the kind of ideas, right? And I have so many resources of which to just generate ideas like at random. Then when all that comes together, once you build up an ear for that aesthetic, it gets a little bit easier. At least it's supposed to. I don't know, certain aspects of it do. Making really heavy drums, I've kind of I don't do it every time, but my success rate has gone up exponentially. When it comes into making bass lines and all that other stuff and trying to get that aesthetic, no, it's still a fucking crapshoot, and I hate it, but it's part of it. Um, but my creative process just doesn't line up with the way that that music is made, and that's where the struggle comes in. That's where the shit, I need to think about this different comes in. That's where the approach needs to change, and that's why I tell you all how much I appreciate the people that I'm around so much, is because they kind of help me do that. I'll be like, hey, I'm looking at it like this, and they're like, no, 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 you need to look at it this way, and then I'm like, oh, that's why that's easy. And oh, that's why I was making it so hard, because if I try to go that specific path and just, dig through it with a rusty shovel, it's not going to work. And then somebody hands me a bulldozer, and I'm like, ah, okay, this is nice. Does that make sense? Yeah, you you need to give yourself permission to make shit if the goal is to make something, right? If the goal is to, I didn't mean to do that. If the goal is to make music, that's the objective, then it doesn't fucking matter. And it shouldn't matter. If the goal is to make the next banger, best shit of your life, whatever, then you need to understand that that is going to be a process that takes so much longer than sitting down an afternoon and wanting to cut corners like everybody does. It's possible, it's doable, but you have to be willing to suffer in order to get there. And you have to accept that it's not going to happen usually in a single session. You have to cultivate it. And even once you cultivate it, you know what I mean? Like, I'll start making shit and then I'll make like 4 or 5 songs and then I'll be like, fuck, I should change the way I do things because it's starting to sound too similar. And then guess what happens? Here we are again, not happy with what I'm making. Like I said, it's an eternal thing, constantly. But the more that you know yourself and the more that you understand your relationship with your creative output, the more easy it is to catch and the easier it is to pivot, you know? But, I could understand if maybe you made like one fucking cool thing and then you're like, every song needs to be this now. And that's not the way to look at it at all. That was you at your best. Your goal is to raise your worst to where, no matter how bad you are, you can raise the quality of what your lowest is on any given day, you know? Um, because if you're only striving to be the best at everything, like top it, like it's not realistic. But you know what I can do on any given day, pretty much with, fucked up legs or whatever? I can backflip. I can throw a cork. I can, do cartwheel full. I can do all these tricks that I know that I could pull out of my ass no matter how shitty I'm feeling. You know, that used to be up here. And now that I'm getting older, you know what I mean? It's a lot harder to maintain. But there was a time that, I was coming off of injury and then I would just throw a double cork and fucking almost like not triple because I never got that close, but I would overshoot it and it would be way too much power and I'd be like, whoa, what the fuck? And that was my norm. On any given day, you know what I mean? If shit doesn't work out, then I can always create like a boom bap track. You know what I mean? I can always create an IDM track. I can always create something that has a very simple loop and throw a drum beat over it and call that a song. It's not what I want, but you need to figure out what that is for you to where like you have a panic emergency button and still be successful. Want to record some acoustic folk instrument? It's probably too ambitious to do overnight. It is. It sounds like it. It sounds like you want all this shit to come together at once. It's not going to happen. I don't think that you have the time. I don't think that your vision is clear enough for you to execute that. Nor do you have the inspiration, nor do you have the drive to do it right now. The very fact that we're talking about this means that you want to do it, but you don't want to do it. And I need to tell you that's okay. But what you can do is say, tonight, I'm going to record the folk tavern part, or I'm just going to jam out, or I'm going to listen and get inspired by folk tavern songs. Like an excellent song that you could that you could use as reference is "Mead by the Fire" from Audica, because that's exactly like, it's not a dubstep track, but it's fucking sick. And you know what I mean? It's very along the lines about what you're trying to tell me. And then also mythical creatures from Audica. That's a very they're very yeah, that whole EP is fucking sick. But Mead by the Fire. And then write some ideas down. Okay, well, I really like, this melody from this part. I really like this from this part. And like I said, you get your shit together and you get organized. See, my thing though is like my hump is my hump is making a beat feel like it has enough elements to carry the energy. I agree. Like a drum groove dictates whether or not I want to keep working on the song, and then whether or not I can find a hook dictates whether or not I want to finish the song. Does that make sense? So like those are my checkpoints. But getting to the drum beat is never the issue anymore. Usually. It's very rare that I'm like, I don't like this beat, or I don't know what to do to this beat. Now that I say that, life is gonna fucking rob me of that too. But what can you say? Uh, Mead by the Fire, MEAD by the Fire from AUDEKA. You're on the computer. Just look it up. AUDEKA. Audica. In fact, I would recommend that you listen to all their shit because it's really good. But yeah, I mean, if you do it right, if you have just like a vocal and then just like a chill bass line or whatever, and then you have good drums, then yeah. But it's always about what I'm trying to evoke or what my intention is that I struggle with the most. And that's just a language thing, that's a language to execution thing of like, I want to evoke this, and this is how I think it should be done, and then being able to do that, this is how I think it should be done, is what I have the most stop floodgates for, if you will. Not everybody has that though, you know. Some people just can write the best fucking music, but then they hate it because they feel like they're shit, or they compare too close to the people that they admire, or you know what I mean. It's something. It looks different for every artist, but it's always something. Yeah, treat it like a book report. You don't read. At least you shouldn't. If we're all adults here, you shouldn't try to read the whole fucking book and then try to write a report on it the night before. You should like read a chapter. You know what I mean? Read a chapter, read two chapters, and then use that as the basis for like starting a thesis, or a reference. In chapter one, Bob the carpenter walked down the street and tripped over some concrete, and his eyes gazed up and saw the most beautiful thing he has ever laid eyes on. What was it? I don't know. I'll figure it out tomorrow. You know what I mean? But now I'm thinking about it. And now I'm thinking about these cliffhangers of like, what can I add to that? What is it? What is that? What the fuck is it? What could he possibly think is so magical? Is it a woman? Is it a man? Is it a they? Is it a chocolate bar? Maybe it's a puppy. Maybe it's a well-trimmed bush in a garden. I don't fucking know. But you get what I'm saying? It's like it makes you wonder. And then that's how you allow yourself to get easily inspired. I know this shit because I've been through it several times. It's just that when you're in it, nothing helps. But if you can pivot, if you can say, hey, let's go this way. Hey, I'm going to do something else for a bit. It'll come around. You just have to trust yourself. And you have to have the awareness to be like, this isn't working. I'm going to do something else. Do I think tribal drums, when building loops, I try picking different hits, I think. I mean, you can. Usually what I think of is just placement. I usually don't have like a specific drum in mind unless if it's a snare. That's the only thing that I'm like, I know what I want. But 9 times out of 10, whenever I'm making drums and stuff, I just have like a groove in mind. And it's just, you know, or something like that. And, you know, or whatever, something weird like that. I feel like if the groove is right, the drums don't have to be as specific. Finished idea need to finalize. One guy who wants to send me his collab. Okay. How do you eat an elephant? Which I wouldn't recommend that. Elephants are very smart creatures, but how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. One bite at a time. You need to be like Dory. Just keep swimming, just keep swimming. But I mean, that's part of it, you know, is like if you have a lot of projects and you're overwhelmed, it's like when you have shit laid out in front of you and you know exactly what to do, it's way easier to get stuff done, you know? It's like a checklist. If you have a checklist or like a grocery list or something, you go to the grocery store and like you've got it to a science to where like you have on your list is whatever is at the front of the store. Then the next thing on your list is whatever is in the middle of the store. Then what's next is in the back of the store. You go out, you get all the shit, then you check out, and then you're like, oh, I forgot something, but it's no big deal because you know exactly where it is, and then you go get it. But you get what I'm saying? It's like, I don't know. I'm not a therapist. Corey's a therapist, but I never ask her for therapy related things. Um, I would ask somebody else, but that's, you know, if you're overwhelmed, you got to get structured. That's all I could say. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. If you're not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. Yeah. Does anybody else have any questions about anything? No, I need to go here in a bit. I was going to, but I got caught up in making dumb shit. And whatever, I had fun today. But I will play Elden Ring tomorrow. And try not to do music stuff until the new year, like I said I was going to. But one thing Corey always does say to me is, strike while the iron's hot. And when she said that, I looked at her and I was like, okay. Yeah, I guess for whatever reason that wanted to do another thumbs up. If I do that again, is that going to do that? Yes. Or is it just this? Yeah, I think it's just the thumb up. Oh, there we go. Okay. I need to turn that off. That drives me crazy. Let's see if I can do that. Yeah. There we go. All right. Well, in any case, I'm going to go. I need to practice my Yu-Gi-Oh combos before I go to the thing tonight. Oh, I also need to buy a ticket. But with that being said, much love, guys. Have an awesome rest of your evening. I'll see you tomorrow, and don't give up. Keep making beats. Keep tweaking that snare. You got it. We got it. I'll see you all later. Have an awesome rest of your evening. Subscribe to the channel. Check out alckemy.com. Book a lesson. Bye.